Lesson 90 is an interesting one. We didn't ever do this one in the old book. It's just measuring turns. You must have found that this is important information for kids as they're developing now. They need this stuff. I always was good at this because I used to play a game called Tony Hawk Pro Skater. And Tony Hawk Pro Skater, you could get more points depending on how many times your skateboarder turned around. One time all the way around would be a 360 degree, which we label with a little guy like that. That should be open. It's hard to tell. I got a thick marker. Only turning around halfway would be a 180, right? So then you'd go back down the half pipe backwards from the way you were. You'd have to turn your body. And then you just add 180 to 360 for every extra turn, right? So maybe 1.5 turns would be, I don't know, 540. And after that, in real life, it gets to be very difficult. Snowboarding, same thing, right? You can use the clock to help you with turning. Clockwise, if you think about it, clockwise, the way the clock moves goes like that, versus counter would go like this, counterclockwise, against clockwise. A full turn is 360, half is 180. If you turn 180, you end up facing the opposite direction you had. Now, partial turn would be 90 degrees, just like we've learned with a triangle. This is 90. So if I'm looking this direction, sorry, that doesn't help you very much. Let's think of it as I'm looking this way. So it's like my field of vision looks something like that. And then if I turn 90 degrees, I'm going to be looking, instead of north, let's say, now I'm looking west, right? It's a quarter turn. 90 degrees would be a quarter turn. Example 1 says Leela was traveling north. At the light, she turned 90 degrees to the left, right? 90 degrees. And traveled 1 block to the next intersection. And then at that intersection, she turned 90 degrees to the left. Another 90 degrees. What direction is she traveling now? Well, this was north. She went west. She kept turning left, so now she's going south. Okay, so drawing a picture may help you with these, at least early on, if you can't keep it all straight in your head. Example 2, we got Andy and Barney, both facing north. Andy, though, we have to keep them straight, makes a quarter turn like we talked about, clockwise, so it goes this way. If we're thinking on the compass, then you're looking east. If you turn clockwise, Barney turns counterclockwise until he faces east, so left, 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 left. Eventually, right, 3/4 turns means you are facing the same way as Andy. Question is, how many degrees would Barney turn? You can think of it as 3 90-degree angles in a row, and 90 times 3 is 270. 3 90-degree angles. Or you could think of it as a 3/4 turn, because he made 3/4 turns. He almost went all the way back to north, which would have been a full turn, but he only did 3/4 turns. So 3/4 of 360. You could do the fraction multiplication math there. So you'd write Barney turned 270 degrees counterclockwise, against the clock. Elizabeth ran each lap around the park. She made 6 turns to the left. So she's going running, goes to the left, goes to the left, goes to the left, to the left, to the left. Never turning right. What was the average number of degrees each turn? Average means how many turns on the bottom, which were 6, underneath total number of degrees, which 6 turns, left-hand turn is only 90 degrees, so 6 times 90 would be 540. Quick math in my head, because 9 times 6 is 54, add the 0. So 540 degrees divided by 6 total turns, wouldn't that be 90? Let's see how I did. I haven't honestly looked at the next page, but it seems like they said 6 turns. Uh-oh, I did something wrong. We are not given the measure of the turns. Okay, but we do know that Elizabeth made 6 turns to the left to get completely around the park. Did they say she got around the park? In my drawing, she didn't. I guess they call them laps. So I guess we have to figure she's getting all the way around. So we don't know what the measure of the turns are, but they're saying she makes it all the way around, whatever, fine. Looks like a hexagon. And if that's the case, she's only making it 360 degrees. To me, they should have written this as she makes one lap around the park. That's not what it said, though. It said she ran each lap around the park, made 6 turns. Okay, so as she ran a lap, she makes 6 turns. So each lap is 6 turns. That's a confusing way to write it. One lap is 6 turns. One lap, therefore, is going to be 36 degrees. It just depends on how you read it. And if that's the case, 36 divided by the 6 total turns, quick math tells me it's going to be this 6, right? And then add the 0, 60 degrees. All right, so we spent a little more time on that than we needed to, maybe. Let's pick 2. Well, yeah, pick 2, A through C. C is a lot like the one we just did.